Life is full of such strange phenomenon like ghosts, cryptids, shadowpeople, aliens, Bigfoot, and the insane cost of college tuition. I mean, let's be honest. But I find these experiences to be intriguing, and they all come from people just like you, like me. So, without further ado, let's begin keeping watch. From the mischievous brownies that were small, industrious hobgoblins that could be kept in check by leaving out a glass of milk or bread, to the well-established Bloody Mary, mankind has established a number of folklore tales, each as creative as the one before. These stories added an element of magic and mystery to the world that could explain common events. According to much of folklore, we exist cooperatively in this realm with these spirits or creatures. For the most part, it seems we can get along. However, perhaps there is some truth to these tales and the danger they pose to us human folk, as AndrzejzPola discovered in The Girl in the Fields. This was originally shared at Reddit/Paranormal. I come from a small village in the east of Poland. My home and several surrounding homes are surrounded by forests and fields with various kinds of grain growing. I work and live in Krakow nowadays, and come home maybe every other month. Last summer I took a long leave and came home right at the beginning of harvest season. The bus I took from Krakow doesn't stop in my home village, so I had to walk a half hour home because nobody could pick me up. Nothing unusual. Same old path through the fields I always liked to take. The sun was shining, the wheat was around waist high, not yet cut and collected. It was very hot that day. Nobody was around for almost all the way, when suddenly a girl of golden hair and in a white dress crossed the path from one field to another, around 20 meters before me. I was surprised because I didn't see her earlier, and I certainly didn't recall anyone looking like her living nearby. And what was she doing in the fields during this time of day? Probably her Instagram photo shoot. Not thinking much, I kept walking home. When I had some time with my parents, I asked if there are some new neighbors that I might not know of. There weren't, so maybe she was someone's guest? In the evening, I took my dogs for a walk around the village and through the fields. I like that path, and well, if there was a slight chance of meeting her, why not? She looked pretty, and I'm single. So, why not? Of course, we didn't meet her. What was I thinking? A few days pass, and my sister is coming home by the same bus I did. I decided to go and pick her up. It's early noon, and I'm walking through the fields again. And then I see the golden-haired girl. She's sitting by a tree in the middle of one of the fields. I got a better look at her right there. Wow, she was pretty. Long golden hair, white dress, and a wreath on her head. It looked like she was reading something. I decided to go over and say hi. She saw me and smiled as I began to walk her way. I started feeling uneasy, yet I don't know why. She picked a nice place to sit and read. I too like sitting somewhere remote, where no one would bother me, and that tree gave a nice cover from the sun's heat. Then my phone rang. It was my sister who got off the bus and phoned me to ask if she should wait for me. I told her that I was on my way, and when I hid my phone, the girl wasn't there. I talked to my sister about all of that. She's more often home, but also didn't know of any new girl to live there. A few more days pass, and I meet my friend's uncle. He asks me if I brought a new girlfriend home because he's seen a nice girl near our home. We joked about how odd it was that it had only been the two of us to have encountered her, and then we went our way. By now, you're probably thinking, why am I posting this here? About a week later, said uncle went to work on the fields around noon and went missing only to be found dead by that tree a day later. The doctor said it was a heat stroke, and he must have fallen because he was bruised. So, how are these events related, you might ask? A very old lady lives around those fields. She is widely known and very nice and talkative. We always called her Grandma. She's 99 currently, and there will be a big party for her 100th birthday. She was raised in a different world, however, a world strongly grounded in folklore. When she heard that my friend's uncle died in the fields around noon, and that we met that golden-haired girl, she got scared. Really scared. She forbid me to go to those fields. She forbid me to try finding the girl. She said the girl had to be a Poludnica. For those not familiar with it, a Poludnica, Lady Midday or Poludnica, is a Slavic demon that is often portrayed as a blonde girl in a white flowing dress, or an old, ugly woman with copper teeth that shows up during noon on the fields and then lures men, killing them afterwards. Now, I'm not saying that the girl killed my friend's uncle. I'm not saying that I met a demon. I'm just saying that it got me creeped out, and thinking if there is some truth in folklore. This is the end of the watch. Thank you for joining us. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please like and subscribe. For more on Keeping Watch, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. All under the same name, Keeping Watch. For first-hand accounts of the peculiar or the paranormal, keep it here at Keeping Watch.